Sales of electric vehicles in the United States have stalled. I don't know, EVs don't really stall, I don't think. Other EV manufacturers are struggling to catch up to the largest maker, Tesla, and gain some market share. Joining us now, Mark Fields, former Ford Motor Company president and CEO, as well as a CNBC contributor. Such a multifaceted discussion where I could come from on this, Mark, just in terms of the Biden administration and some of the goals or some of the mandates that we've set and how those are increasingly looking at this point. I mean, they better hope about that expression that things happen gradually and then all at once, because I don't see it happening nearly as quickly as they're banking on.
Well, I agree with you 100%. We've talked about this a lot over the last number of months. I mean, listen, when you think about the administration, they've, in the Infrastructure Act, let's just do a little math to kind of bring out your point. So the administration in the Infrastructure Act allocated about $7.5 billion to build chargers, about 500,000 chargers. Very few have been built so far. And part of that is just the regulatory hoops you have to go to build them. And part of it's the supply chain. But if you look at a lot of the projections say, listen, by 2030, to meet the supposed demand, the U.S. is supposed to have about anywhere between 1.2 million and 1.4 million chargers. Today, the U.S. has about 180,000. So let's take that lower number, the 1.2 million, Joe. That basically says every day between now and 2030, because they say by 2030 you need 1.2 million, you have to be installing every day between now and 2030, 465 chargers per day. I mean, the math doesn't work. And, I think the automakers have recognized that. That's why they pulled back. And listen, as we all know, over time, the industry here is going to transition to electric vehicles, but it's not going to transition in the time frame everybody originally expected. And that's why you're seeing the automakers pull back on their investments.
I was even going to ask you that. I mean, everybody says that. Yeah, we know that sooner or later we are going to. So that's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, up to this point, Mark, and I know I'll get flack for saying it, but the world we live in right now was made possible by fossil fuels. And the world is unbelievable when you can fly to China and you do this. And you think of the amount of leisure time that we have, how many people are either, warm in the winter or cool in the summer. And you just look at the benefits of what it is given us. You're absolutely sure that within a certain amount of time, the entire world is going to be electrified at that point.
Well, Joe, it's a fact. Obviously, fossil fuels are a depleting resource. So at some point, we're going to run out.
That sounds Malthusian to me. I mean, okay, natural gas. When do you see us running out of natural gas? And you, well, I mean, I understand, but we did. Malthus. No one who's ever made a bet, a Malthusian bet, has ever made money on anything. Peak oil. The guy finally died, the guy who kept talking about how that was going to happen. Peak oil keeps getting pushed out years at a time. We get more fuel efficient. Maybe it won't be oil, heavy, light, sweet, whatever it is, but natural gas or some type of hydrocarbon.
Well, listen, on natural gas, again, you need to transition. If you're talking natural gas, there's a lot of investments that the automakers need to make to actually make that happen. And then you lay on top of it a new distribution system, right? You have gas stations today. Now you're getting electric chargers. Now you're assuming, hey, we can build out an infrastructure of natural gas vehicles. I think, listen, I agree. It's going to take a long time. Here's an interesting factoid, Joe. When you look at the tier one powertrain suppliers, they essentially stopped working on next generation powertrains about a year ago, when the automakers said, hey, listen, we're going to be investing primarily in electric vehicles going forward. So when you look at the fuel economy improvements that have traditionally come out of these powertrain suppliers to support better fuel economy, to support the EPA regulations, that's going to get tougher going forward, because you're basically going to be, unless these tier one suppliers start reinvesting in next generation ICE powertrains, you're not going to have as much improvements. And that's why the government, I believe, is going to have to back off some of these, very ambitious targets, because not only will the technology not allow you to get there in the time frame, but consumer demand won't.
Yeah, and then you're going to have all your charging stations, because we're going to make 400 every day, like you said, and then you better hope people have the EVs to use them too, and that you better hope not everyone's EV is a Tesla, because nobody's buying in any of the other ones at that point. You better hope that the recent UAW wage gains don't make the transition impossible from without the government stepping in and doing it again and bailing out the entire industry.
Well, on the cost side, to your point, if you look at let's use a snapshot of today. So most people buying EVs today are wealthy consumers. If you look at the third quarter, about 25% of luxury car sales were EVs. On non-luxury cars, it was about 3%. So, clearly right now, the average cost of an EV, and I know we're talking averages, is about 25% higher than an ICE vehicle. And that's down 20% since the beginning of the year and all the price cuts that's happened. So if you kind of boil that down to, the family that's sitting across the kitchen table and wondering, what they're going to buy, if you assume an 8% interest rate, more or less, that difference of a cost in an ICE vehicle, average ICE vehicle versus an EV, it's about $275 a month. The challenge for the industry is over time, how do they equalize that? So it takes the cost issue off the table. But then you get to the infrastructure issue and the charging infrastructure. Yep. So most consumers are going to say, hey, listen, when you solve the cost issue and when you solve the charging infrastructure issue, then I'll consider it. Right. And I think that's why it's going to take longer than expected.